you graduated, and why did you go to join the Marine Corps?
When I was 9, I looked in a telescope. I was on Kauai at my grandma's house, and my grandpa, he had like a cheap telescope, and I saw the moon, and I saw a volcano on the moon, and I was like, wow, there's a volcano on the Big Island, right? So the moon has a volcano, Big Island has a volcano. If anybody on the planet knows about volcanoes, it's us. So I should study volcanoes so I can study the volcano on the moon. I got into that, and I realized before I graduated high school from Kumu Kaliko Trap, who's not a science teacher. Hey, Kumu Kaliko, just wanted to say thank you for inspiring me to be a scientist, even though you never got a degree in science. It's crazy how that happens.
He'll probably be on the podcast at some point.
Yeah. And so, after high school, I was trying to figure out how to get to the moon still yet, right? How to get to space. And at Navahi, I was in this NASA competition in 7th grade where we had to build a bridge, and we did it in Olelo Haole, Olelo Makuahine Valeno, Vala au Kanaka Hawaiian language. And even my papers are all in Hawaiian, so I couldn't submit it to the NASA people because they don't read Hawaiian. And so I really got this idea, like, I need to be the first Hawaiian to do this space stuff because that's what we're known for. Astronomy, astronavigation, navigation, wayfinding. And I went to go sign up for the Air Force to become a pilot because I heard at the time, if you're a test pilot, then you get to fly the shuttle. Well, I went to the recruiter's building, and the Air Force guy, he wasn't there. I guess they take a lot of breaks, Air Force. What's up?
They take shishi breaks too.
Yeah, they take tiny shishi breaks in the Air Force. Air Force, and they get the good bathroom, so they stay in there, play on their phone a long time. As a Marine, I got a rag on the other branches of service. But I went over there, and he wasn't there. And this is in Kaneohe, right next to McDonald's at Windward City. And the Marine was there. And he just came outside and he was like, you ever thought about joining the Marines? And I said, no. I really knew nothing about the Marine Corps at the time. And I thought Marines, it has to be something with the ocean. Yeah, let's go. I'm on a boat.
Marine life.
Right? I thought it was the Navy. So I said, I'll do it. And on the door was a poster of a Special Forces guy skydiving out of the back of a helicopter. And then the bottom was like the guy with the sniper coming out of the swamp. And I told him, if I can, I was meaning the plane part. Like, if I could do the skydive and drive the plane part, I'll sign up. I didn't know that it was infantry. I would be doing the war fighting. I thought I was doing the Special Forces pilot program. And turns out I was a Special Forces infantryman. So I went to boot camp right then and there because I got my girlfriend pregnant right out of high school. I was a teen dad. I found out we're having a baby, and I told the recruiter I need to leave right now so I can get my life started. I was looking to get married. I was looking to have a family, do the whole warrior, pathway with my life. Didn't end up happening that way overall, but I did join the Marine Corps, went to boot camp 3 months right after high school. It was intense. The biggest thing that I had an issue with was being homesick. Growing up.
Never had social media when you went.
Never have social media. Never have. I think Facebook came out a couple of years after for normal people because then and there it was only for college students. I spent the whole year training, flying back and forth just to come visit my family and my baby. And it was a really wild experience. But going back to being a Kanaka and being Hawaiian and having our kingdom illegally occupied by these people and going back to having a vote. I know you had Keanusai on and you guys talked about the legalities of Hawaii. And when we talk about Hawaii being an occupied kingdom, plenty of people, maybe even you thought about this, that it's not a legal term. Maybe people think that we're sad that we got conquered, which is not true, right? So conquering a place is not the same as illegal occupation, which if you go back to your talk with Keanusai, you can kind of understand, okay, so we're illegally occupied. Why? Because the process was forged. And so it's not like we're salty that we lost a fight and you guys conquered us, because we're not conquered. Somewhere along the way, the politics of it all kind of got skewed, corrupt, and you self-imposed the system and okayed it for yourself to go through. You basically wrote the treaty yourself, right? So when I look at it, I go, okay, America is, they took us over by illegally occupying our space. Is that something that I'm emotional about because I hate to lose a fight, right? Because we grew up on the Big Island fighting. So did I lose a fight and that's why I'm mad? No, because I know how to lose fights. I got into fights with my cousins, my brothers, my friends. I win some, I lose some. But that's not what this is. This was, we're going to write this piece of paper saying that we own your home. And who does that piece of paper go to? Well, it goes to ourselves. I wrote it, I take it. And so we get all of these things like voting, American citizenship, these privileges that come with it, if that's what you think it is. But we also have these things called taxes. We also have things that we're bound to into the system, like these ideas of independence, individualism, liberty. And these are all values that come with the American system of being American. So it's really hard to distinguish how I feel as a occupied Hawaiian, which is a legal term. They just don't recognize it for us. And at the same time, being born as an American citizen, because we never chose this. My grandparents didn't choose. They were forced. And that's the difference, right? We wake up one day and someone tells us, oh, instead of being these people, you belong to this system. And I'm like, wow. So it's a real rough patch to get through when we talk about values, right? As a Hawaiian, how can I value being a part of the gang, which is called the Marine Corps? Because it really is a gang. It was started in a bar. 1775, yesterday, started in a bar in Philly. And how can I, as a Hawaiian from an occupied space, be comfortable with joining these people? Who took over the queen at her palace and locked her up? What group of people? Do you know?
Some infantry.
Which infantry?
I can't remember the number.
The Marine Corps infantry. So it was the Marines.
So were you conscious of this when you joined, or this
No.
stuff you after, right?
Right? When I get told the story, my kupuna said the U.S. military, they don't specify with the Marine Corps infantry. And so I never knew it was the Marine Corps infantry. I didn't really know anything because at the time I still only Olelo Hawaii up until 11th grade. So Olelo Hawaii vale no, kuka maka Olelo Hawaii, maka kula, maka hale, ike Hawaii, ike pono. Yep. And so the U.S. military didn't really have a space in my mind other than occupying force. But when I joined the Marines, every single day at boot camp, they give you a class. Basically, that's all it is military history, tactics. And the first 2 months, I got to learn about every battle since the foundation of America, since Christos Columb, before him, since Babylon, since Egypt, every great battle we studied at. We studied tactics. And that's where I really, as a warrior, as a masculine figure in my family that wants to be some sort of hero, I go, I want to play this hero character, but the only way I can achieve it is if I go be a part of that group. And so when I joined the Marines, I never knew that that's what I was doing, right? I joined because I thought I was going to space. But knowing the power that I had on my deployment, that's where I really got to understand, wow, this is what it's like taking over a country. This is what it's like being a part of the occupying force on people that really don't want me here. And why am I in Iraq? Why did I go to Fallujah? Why did I go to Baghdad, Bagram? Why did I go to Al-Assad? And it was to help America do something. Is that the same thing that America did to Hawaii? Right? Is that the same thing the Marines did to the Queen? And so I still fight with it now. And that's why when I talk about it, I try and be open as possible, where I say the Marines is a gang. We got to understand what the gang is about and what we do. The U.S. utilizes these gangs as a force to control assets. Maybe it's a farm. Maybe it's oil. Maybe it's a location of space. Maybe it's something that brings funds to the commerce of America. And these are all the things that I have internally still yet. Even though I got out in 2011, I fight every day within myself to, did I really did I do good?
Like you're trying to justify your decision of going.
Yeah, and not only justify, but trying to learn about myself as a
As
man.
you reflect on
Yeah,
it
as a
more.
leader, right? What was going through my head at the time? Because I tell you what, I wasn't porno at the time.
Mhm.
I wasn't. I did my best. I listened to Hawaiian music. I listened to reggae music to keep me on a straight track in the military, while all of my comrades listened to rock metal and killing
Mhm.
and killing in the name of, Rage
Mhm.
Against the Machine and real rocker, go get it. But for me, it was like Boogie Kalama, Hokulea, Star of
Mhm.
Gladness, and Bob Marley, Love Everybody. And now I'm still trying to figure this out.
Mhm.
The whole being an occupied Hawaiian and a Marine at the same time is really rough. And whenever I speak my my visions, my truth about it, it hurts a lot of people's feelings. Um,
A lot of
yeah,
people, as in locals or people in the gang, both
everybody.
sides.
The gang, locals, Hawaiians, non-Hawaiians, right? Imagine if you're a non-Hawaiian and I start talking about the U.S. Marines and you and Howley man and your grandpa is a Marine and the only
Proud of
reason, yeah,
it. Yeah.
proud, right? So I start talking about what the Marines did to Hawaiians and all you get is offended. Why? Because I say that was your grandpa and he did that to mine.
Mhm.
So how you feel about your grandpa being a criminal? Right? That's how I gonna say him. How you feel about your grandpa being in a gang, occupying the space that my grandpa was loving his family in? And people tell me that too sometimes. How you feel about being that? And I feel horrible. I feel shitty. I feel junk and I feel hurt on the inside that maybe I never know enough before I joined. Maybe I never on one of the podcasts with Kianusai and he was talking about I never learned this stuff in Kula, in
Mhm.
Nawahi, right? And I had to think about that because I go, did we really not learn that? Or did we just not pay attention because we just young kids and who cares about that stuff?
Mhm.
And after I listened to your podcast with him, that's when I went back and did I learn this? How do I feel about it? Um, and it hurts. It hurts to learn about myself in this. Like, hey, I gotta admit, I was a part of a gang. The gang did stuff I'm not proud of, but in the end, I got about $13 million worth of leadership training. I went to all the best leadership courses out there. I have experience leading a combat team in combat, and nothing can replace that experience in education. And now I get to bring that to us
Mhm.
back at home, right? I get to lead our younger generation with you because this is something you built with the whole idea of commerce. And maybe it wasn't because of that, but I remember you started because you needed to pay your college bills, right?
Not the podcast, but like me, like kind
Just
of
in
my
general,
career.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. It all
everything you
started
started
from that.
off because, hey, I
Yeah.
have this college bills that I gotta pay,
Mhm.
and I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do
It's
it.
gonna work.
I'm just gonna work. And look at what you
Yeah.
built off of that,
Mhm.
right? And so if I can give just a little bit of that advanced leadership training and inspiration for you to
Mhm.
push and make other people get to where you're at a little bit easier,
Mhm.
then it's worth it for me. It's
Mhm.
worth it for all the suffering and pain that our kupuna went through, not only being Hawaiian,
Mhm.
right? Because we not only Hawaiian, we
Mhm.
other stuff too. And what did those kupuna have to go through so that way you could be existing?
Mhm.
What did they have to suffer? The boat rides, right? The long nights, the long days of going from one country to another one, not knowing where you're going, where you're going to end up, not having friends there, not understanding if it's safe. And so when they get here and you hear, say, oh, my man, so I try and come back and I give all of my leadership skills, my education to the community freely.
Mhm.
And I hope that kind of helps me calm, moe malie, loko mai kai, all of these good feelings that I hope I can have at the end of my life. I hope I get them and, to make up for all the heva, which I wasn't a part of the heva, but I was a part of it, I was involved somehow. Maybe I can make up for that.